my scale? Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Is there anyone who would actually like to perform the puja? We have an opening Shrota spot. No dakshina needed. No preparation needed. One volunteer. Cindy, come. Sorry guys, if you didn't jump up, then I gotta make somebody jump up. And I can't make anybody else jump up except ask Cindy to do it. Om Hasta Prakshanam Samarpayami Shri Govindaya Namo Namah. Om Apavitra Pavitvarva Sarvastangato Piva. Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute. Jai Tvam Devi Chamunde Jai Bhutarati Harini Jai Sarvakite Devi Kalaratri Namostute. Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. Bolo Shri Durga Mata Ki Jai. Om Shri Dum Durgaya Namaha. Avahayami Asanam Samarpayami Namaha Gum. Om Shri Dum Durgaya Namaha. Padayo Padayami Namaha Gum. Hastayo Hastayami Namaha Gum. Mukha Achmanyam Samarpayami Namaha Gum. Om Malyadini Sugandhini Malatyadini Ve Prabho Mayaritani Pujartam Pushpani Pratigrihitam. Om Dum Durgaya Namah. Pushpam Samarpayami Namaha Gum. Om Vanaspati Rasodbhuto Gandhyadyo Gandhottama Agriya Sarvadevanam Dhupoyam Pratigrihitam. Om Dum Durgaya Namah. Dhupam Samarpayami Deepam Samarpayami Namaha Gum. Om Sharkara Kandaka Dhyani Darikshirangritani Cha Aharam Bhaksha Bhojam Cha Nevedam Pratigrihitam. Pranaya Swaha Apanaya Swaha Dhyanaya Swaha Udanaya Swaha Samanaya Swaha. Om Dum Durgaya Namah. Nevedam Samarpayami Namaha Gum. Pungipalam Mahadivyam Nagabali Jale Ritam Eladichurna Sanyuktam Tambulam Pratigrihitam. Tambulam Samarpayami Namaha Gum. Dakshinam Samarpayami Namaha Gum. Om Sruno Devi Pravakshami Kunjika Stotramuttamam Yena Mantra Prabhavena Chandi Japaha Subho Bhavet Na Kavacham Nargala Stotram Kilakam Narahasyakam Na Suktam Napi Dhyanam Cha Nanyaso Na Cha Varchanam Kunjika Patamatrena Durga Patapalam Labet Ati Guhyataram Devi Devanam Apilolabam Gopanayam Prayatyena Swayonirva Parvati Maranam Mohanam Vasya Stambano Chatanadikam Patamatrena Samsiddhit Kunjika Stautramuttamam Atamantraha. Om Aim Hrim Krim Chamundai Viche Om Glam Hum Klim Jum Sahar Jwale Jwale ज्वल ज्वल प्रज्वल प्रज्वल ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विच्चे ज्वल हम सम लं शं फट् स्वाहा इति मन्त्रः। ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विच्चे ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विच्चे ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विच्चे कात्यायनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमार्यै धीमहि तन्नो दुर्गे प्रचोदयात्। बोलो श्री दुर्गा माता की जय। ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः। ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः। If anyone else has prasad or would like to make an offering to Ma Durga, prayers, even flowers, you can come up at this time. We can have a couple bhajans and kirtans to kick us off. Om Sharakara Kandaka Dhyani Darikshirangitani cha Aharam Makshubhojam cha Naivedam Pratigrihita Pranaya Swaha Apanaya Swaha Vyanaya Swaha Udanaya Swaha Samanaya Swaha Naivedyam Samarpayami Namaha.
Jai Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jagat Janani Jagadambike He Ma, He Ma, Jagat Janani Jagadambike He Ma, He Ma, मैं आत पहर महिमा गाऊं, तेरे सुमिरन से सुख पाऊं। हे परम सुखदाय परदायन हे मां, हे मां, जगत जननी जगदम्बिके हे मां, हे मां। तू दिव्य ज्योत, तू सुख तारक, तू भक्त जनों की उतारक। भव सागर में सब के तारक, तू स्वयं शक्ति शक्ति धारक। मैं देव सिर तुझको ध्याऊं, तेरे सुमिरन से सुख पाऊं। हे परम सुखदाई परदायन हे मां, हे मां, जगत जननी जगदम्बिके हे मां, हे मां। तू भव प्रीता नंदमयी, तू रन चंडी, तू काल जयी। हर युग में तेरे रूप करे, हर पूजा में तू लागे नहीं। मन अपना तुझ तक देना, तेरे सुमिरन से सुख पाऊं। हे परम सुखदाई परदायन हे मां, हे मां, जगत जननी जगदम्बिके हे मां, हे शारदे मां, हे शारदे मां, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे मां। हे शारदे मां, हे शारदे मां, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे मां। तू स्वर की देवी, ये संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा, ये हर गीत तुझसे। तू स्वर की देवी, ये संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा, ये हर गीत तुझसे। हम हैं अकेले, हम हैं अधूरे, तेरे शरण हम, हमें प्यार दे मां। हे शारदे मां, हे शारदे मां, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे मां। मुनियों ने समझी, गुनियों ने जानी, वेदों की भाषा, पुराणों की वाणी। मुनियों ने समझी, गुनियों ने जानी, वेदों की भाषा, पुराणों की वाणी। हम भी तो समझे, हम भी तो जाने, विद्या का हमको अधिकार दे मां। हे शारदे मां, हे शारदे मां, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे मां। हे शारदे मां, हे शारदे मां, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे मां। अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे मां। अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे मां।
ओम बोलो जगदम्बिका दुर्गा माता की जय. Let us now join together in some prarthana, some prayers. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvighnam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvara Atulit Baladamam Hemashailavadeham Dhanujavan Krishanam Jnaninam Mrigaganyam Sakala Gunanidanam Vanaranam Madhisham Raghupati Priyabhaktam Bhatajatam Namami. Krishna Krishna Kripalu Kararvinde Napadarvindam Mukarvinde Viniveshayantam Vatasya Patrasya Puteshayanam Bala Mukunda Manasa Smarami Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayana
वासुदेव
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण
वासुदेव
लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरं राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरन्तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं मनसा स्मरामि। श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम 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 श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम। ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय। वन्दे देवमुमापतिं सुरगुरुं वन्दे जगत्कारणं वन्दे पन्नगभूषणं मृगधरं वन्दे पशूनापतिं वन्दे सूर्यशशाङ्कवाहनयनं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं वन्दे भक्तजनाश्रयं च वरदं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम्। या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिर्देवैस्सरा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निशेषजाध्यापः। लक्ष्मीकरोतु कल्याणम् आरोग्यं सुखसम्पदा मम शत्रुविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते। दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दन दीपो मे हरतो पाप दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते। ॐ नमो दिव्ये महादिव्ये शिवाय सततं नमः। नमः प्रकृत्य भद्राय नियताः प्रणता स्मतां रौद्राय नमो नित्याय गौर्ये धात्रे नमो नमः। ज्योत्स्नाय छन्दरूपिण्ये सुखाय सततं नमः। कल्याणे प्रणतां वृद्धि सिद्धि कुर्मो नमो नमः। नैऋत्ये भूभृतां लक्ष्मी सर्वाण्ये ते नमो नमः। दुर्गाय दुर्गपाराय साराय सर्वकारिण्ये ख्याते तथैव कृष्णाय धूम्राय सततं नमः। अतिसौम्यातिरौद्राय नतास्तस्यै नमो नमः। नमो जगत्प्रतिष्ठाय दिव्ये कृत्ये नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु ओ या देवी सर्वभूतेषु विष्णुमायेति षद्भिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु चैतन्येत्यभिधीयते नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो
नमः नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु बुद्धिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु निद्रारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शुद्धारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु छायारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु तृष्णारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै नमस्तस्यै
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु जातिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लज्जारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै नमस्तस्यै
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु श्रद्धारूपेण संस्थिता
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
ओ या देवी सर्वभूतेषु कान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु वृत्तिरूपेण संस्थिता
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
ओ या देवी सर्वभूतेषु स्मृतिरूपेण संस्थिता
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दयारूपेण संस्थिता
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु तुष्टिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु भ्रान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः
इन्द्रियाणामधिष्ठात्री भूतानां चाकुलेशय भूतेषु सततं तस्यै यापि दिव्ये नमो नमः चित्तिरूपेण या कृत्स्ने मितद्व्याप्य स्थितः जगत् नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो
ॐ
नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो
ॐ
नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो
ॐ
नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो
ॐ
नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो
ॐ
नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो
ॐ
नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो
ॐ
नमः
नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः बोलो जगदम्बिका दुर्गा माता की जय नमस्तस्यै नमस्तस्यै again and again we offer our salutations to you O Ma Bhavani Ma Durga who takes the form of so many in our lives. Sitaram and Jai Mata to everyone and to those online as well. You know, I'm glad that you can join with us in our weekly Friday Shanti Satsang. Satsang is very, very important, of course, to keep our minds fresh with the stories and with the values that we learn from these stories, and to keep our minds fresh with the greatness of God. And yes, we know these stories that we read again and again from the same book or the same books. We hear them again and again, but yet we come back to listen to them once more because they remind us, they give us a memory of a good feeling, a prayerful feeling. And additional to that, I'm sure that many of you have not memorized the entire Gita or the Ramayana. Neither have I. So we come again and again in satsang to worship Bhagwan. Today, let's speak a little bit about something that affects every single one of us. Let's speak a little bit more about anger. Where does this anger come from? How can we control anger? Because each and every single one of us has it. And if anyone, maybe except a Swami that wears this color, because those are enlightened people.
But if anybody else, regular person, comes and tells me that they never get angry, it's a little bit unbelievable. What do you say to such a person that says that? Because there are definitely things that make us angry in this life. And we'll talk a little bit about what they are today. But first, we must ask ourselves, is it okay to be angry? Let's see what the Ramcharitmanas says. Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram,
Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Oh, Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Oh, Lakshman Vanas Rasan Anu. Lakshman Vanas Rasan Anu. So shall Bharati Basika Krisanu. Ram, Siya Ram,
Jai Jai Ram.
oh, Ram, Siya Ram.
Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Oh, Sat san Vinay Kripla san Preeti. Sat san Vinay Kutla san Preeti. Sahaj Kripan san Sundar Neeti. Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. The Ramcharitmanas says, Lachman Ban Sarasana Anu. So shall Bharadhi Bisikha Krisanu. Sri Ram, you see, was angry at one point in the Ramcharitmanas as well. Do you know which point this was? Where he became upset, he became angry. Believe it or not, it was not when Sita Ma was stolen away. He had different emotions at that time. He was sad. He was lost. Believe it or not, it was not when he was banished from the kingdom. Sri Ram was pleased that he could fulfill the word of his parents. At this particular moment, how did it get to this level where Sri Ram was angry? To cross the ocean to get to Lanka, Sri Ram asks his advisors, Sugriv and Vibhishana, how can we cross this mighty ocean? How can we get this entire army across? And they said to him that, "O Lord, we know that you can dry up this entire ocean by just shooting a single arrow inside. But the best course of action would be to simply ask the ocean. The best course of action would be to simply ask Sagar Dev or Varun Dev." Right, Varun? The best course of action would just be to ask you. So, Sri Ram agrees. he bows to the ocean first. He makes a comfortable seat at the shore on the beach. And he began to pray. Now first, Bhagavan Sri Ram, as we know, is Lord Vishnu. And he is praying to what we refer to as a demigod. We refer to the ocean, the wind, the earth. All of these are gods in our mind, in our religion. But out of the Holy Trinity, we consider Bhagavan Vishnu, Brahma, and Mahesh the superior ones. And of course, the Holy Trinity of Ma Durga, Ma Saraswati, Ma Lakshmi. But Sri Ram, who is Lord Vishnu, is now praying to Varun Dev. What does this tell us about his character of Sri Ram? First, that he is humble enough to understand humility and that you need to take action to do certain things. You can't get everything your way. No matter who you are on this earth, Sri Ram came for a purpose. He came in the form of a man to show us how to live. He is Maryada Purushottam. And hence his purpose here was to show us how to pray. His purpose here was to show us that no matter who you are, you must pray. You must ask for forgiveness. You must ask for permission. And so he sat there and he prayed. And would you believe that 3 days passed by where Sri Ram sat there and he prayed to Varun Dev? And the Lord did not receive any reply from the ocean. Now, it was a lot easier. You're saying to yourself, 3 days, is that all it takes to speak with the ocean? To speak with the God, the Lord of the ocean? In that time, it was very, very easy to appease the Devatas. In that time, it was very easy to speak as long as you had the right mind frame, as long as you had the right tapasya. But you and I don't have this luxury now. And Vishnu Bhagavan, who is praying for 3 days, he's the sustainer. You would think that Varun Dev must answer to his call, must answer to his requests. But 3 days passed without any response. Sri Ram did everything he was supposed to. And he was now 3 days behind on finding Sitama, on saving Sitama. So Bhagavan Sri Ram, at this point in time, he becomes upset. He becomes angry. And then what does he say? Lachman ban sarasana anu. He says, Lachman, bring my bow and my arrow. And he says, I will dry up the ocean with a missile. So Sri Ram, he quickly strings an arrow to his bow and he aims it towards the ocean. The ocean starts to rumble now. The animals nearby that are seeing this, the crocodiles, the fish, they're seeing what Sri Ram is doing and they're trembling in fear. And as the Lord of the ocean is seeing this, Varun Dev, he sees his animals now in distress. And he thinks to himself, if all of the ocean dries up, then all of these animals will be injured and hurt and potentially killed. So he says to himself that I must give up and I must ask for forgiveness from Prabhu Shri Ram. Now the question that I asked was, is it okay to be angry? The answer is no. Of course it's not okay to be angry. Because anger is never a good thing. But, just like in this chaupai, some people in this world, they only notice us when we become upset. Some people only realize that they should have taken your feelings into consideration when you show them that you're upset and that you're angry. Have you noticed this? You know, I've worked in customer service for a few years. And I can tell you that this is true. That there are some people and some instances where the people who are more upset than the others, they end up getting served quicker or first before other people. And forget about working in customer service. I'm sure if you were to go and see the customer service itself, the agents, you know, let me tell you a story. It was last year that I purchased my first veggie queue. You know what a veggie queue is? You don't know what a veggie queue? Varun, it's a barbecue, but it's only for vegetables. Right? A veggie queue. We're vegetarians, so I purchased my first veggie queue for our house, Cindy and I. So you roast vegetables on this, and I was very excited to use it. So I planned a day where I called my family over. And I said, this is the end of summertime. It was on sale. So I had to buy it. So I purchased it from the store. I planned the day to set it up, and I invited my family and friends over. But as the day was getting closer to that date, I noticed that there was another barbecue that was on sale, cheaper than the one I bought. Another veggie queue, sorry. Another veggie queue that was on sale at another store. So I said, I'm a little bit busy right now. I just went to purchase the cheaper veggie queue. I gotta keep on track here. I gotta go and purchase the cheaper veggie queue, and I will return the other one that I bought later. So I took the unopened box back to the store, and I went to get a refund or a store credit because I could not find the receipt. So I was okay with the store credit. And the customer service agent says, you know, they don't do returns on products like this anymore. She says, they don't do returns over a certain amount anymore, and you don't have the receipt. We can't look it up. We can't do anything. Cindy was there. You can ask her about this story. So we were shocked, both Cindy and I. And Cindy turns to me and she says, Suraj, what are we going to do? It was on sale, but it's not cheap. So what are we going to do? I said, what are we going to do? She said she can't do it. We have to go. That's their policy. So if they said they can't do it, what are we going to do? We have to leave. There's no other option. So we left. And I spoke with some families and friends, and I was advised that this was incorrect, that they can take the return. So to test this new knowledge that we had out, we went to another branch of the same store. We tried to return it. This new store says that they can take the return. If we bought it at that store, they can look up the receipt for us and process the return. Right away. We didn't mention anything else. The box was unopened. They looked at it and they said, okay, we can do it. But we didn't buy it there, so we had to go back to the original store. All in all, we went back to the original store for the second time. We returned it without a problem this time. And we were pretty upset by this point. Because of all of what had happened, I drove to this particular store 3 times. And guess who had to lift this big box of the veggie queue up and take it into the store 3 times? It's not Cindy. And it's me, and I don't lift weights. Like, I don't know if you guys follow Guruji Panihardat's workout posts online. I'm not his size, I'm not his stature, if you can't see me in person. I don't go to the gym, so this was a difficult task, and that's what made me upset. But I thought to myself, after all of this interaction, if we only pushed back a little bit in the beginning of all of this, that we probably wouldn't have to have went through this back and forth. So, understand me. I'm not saying that we should have been angry and mean to people. What I'm saying is that sometimes we need to be firm. Sometimes we need to be strict in what we're doing. And if we're going to be firm, then we need to be able to be firm without being angry, because there's a difference. So if Cindy and I had remained calm but questioned that process a little bit more, then it is possible that we could have avoided the back injuries. We could have avoided the whole situation and the gas wasted to go back and forth. And now, throughout the entire situation, we never yelled at anyone. We never got angry at anyone. And we achieved the same result, which tells us that anger itself would have changed the outcome of the situation. In fact, we may have only made the situation worse if we were actually angry. Remember when I said that upset people sometimes get served first in customer service? Many, many times, angry people are refused customer service entirely because of how they're acting. So it's okay to be upset sometimes, but never let that upset feeling turn into anger. And if we are angry at any point, never let others see that anger that we have. So being unhappy and being angry are two different things. But what is the cause that allows us to be angry in the first place? What is this feeling that we have in our minds? Where does it come from? Govind bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. Govind bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. Govind bolo, Hari Gopal bolo.
Govind bolo, Hari Gopal bolo.
Radha Raman, Hari Gopal bolo.
Radha Raman, Hari Gopal bolo.
Govind bolo, Hari Gopal bolo.
Govind bolo, Hari Gopal bolo.
Dhyayato Vishyan Punsam Sangaste Shupajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodha Vijayate. Govind bolo, Hari Gopal bolo.
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 Radha Raman, Hari Gopal bolo.
Radha Raman, Hari Gopal bolo.
O Radha Raman, Hari Gopal bolo.
Radha Raman, Hari Gopal bolo.
Govind bolo, 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 Hari Gopal bolo.
Hari Gopal bolo.
Gopal bolo.
Hari Gopal bolo.
Gopal bolo.
Shri Krishna says, chapter 2, verse 62. Dhyayato Vishayan Punsaha Sangaste Shupajayate Sangat, my apologies. Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Abhijayate. Shri Krishna states that while concentrating on objects of the senses, a person develops attachment to the sense objects. From that attachment, desires are born. From that desire, anger then arises. Now, this is something that we all know. And we all know this because it is logical, it makes sense to us. If we concentrate too much on objects around us, then we develop an attachment to it. Think about a child with a dolly or a teddy bear. They spend so much time with that teddy bear that they develop an attachment to it. That attachment leads to a desire. Now the child, if they do not have that dolly or that teddy bear to sleep, they desire it, they need it, they ask for it, and then they can do whatever they have to do to sleep. And that desire then leads to anger. But how? When that teddy bear is taken away from the child, and the child does not have the ability to have the teddy bear anymore, even though they desire it, without it, they become angry, they begin to cry, they begin upset, they begin to be upset. In the same way, we're all children, but with different things. In the same way, we have our cars, our houses, our clothes. We have all these things around us, our technology, our laptops, our games. And sometimes when we don't have these things, we develop an anger because in the first place, we are attached to it. And I don't know about everyone here, but if someone stole something from me, if someone had taken something away from me, that is something that I would tend not to forget, that I would be very upset about. And it would be burned into my memory if it was $1 or if it was $5,000. I'd be very upset. Now, is that because I'm a Scorpio? Or is that because that I, like everyone else, has this attachment? I have this attachment. Is it because I have this specific condition, or is it because that everyone else, like everyone else, we have this attachment to things around us, to our money and to our objects? I ask you, how many of you, be honest, don't say out loud, but be honest, how many of you have gotten angry because a family member stood in front of the TV while you're watching your favorite show? I'm not going to say who is reacting, or I'm not looking. But if you're reacting, then you know what I'm talking about. I'll ask you another question. How many of you are upset and angry because there are no boundaries within the family, because you're all working, living, playing in the same spot, in the same house 24/7? Because we're all in lockdown? How much of that is going on in your life? How many of us are angry because your internet service provider sucks? Am I allowed to say that? It's a very big thing. I don't know about elsewhere, but in the GTA, these two big companies are very frustrating. I'm sure that if you call into their customer service, we have to be a little upset in order to get our way. Sometimes. Sometimes they are good, but sometimes they're not so good to us. And we become upset and angry about it. So who is it that does not get angry? Those who do not have any attachment to any objects, they will ultimately understand that everything in this life comes and goes. I have a quote for you. Objects come and go all the time. If you try to hold on to these objects, they won't stay with you. Instead, they'll take you with them for the ride. It is better to let go so you are unmoved by the gain or loss of these objects. The quote is by me, Suraj Prasad, if you want to quote it. You can write this down for me. Do not hold on to the objects because they will come and go in our life. And if you hold on to them, you will go with them. You'll be taken on the roller coaster of emotions with those objects as they're coming and going. Instead, let things go. Do not be attached to it. And you'll see that your anger level in life will be reduced a little bit. To recap what we have spoke about today, number one is that anger is a trait that we all have, all of us. Number two, always keep in mind that with this anger and this upset feelings that we have to distinguish between them. We should never let our feelings, our unhappy feelings, turn into anger where we lose control. And last but not least, let go of these attachments that we have in life in order to control our anger. Because when we do, we'll start to see that we care less about what we're gaining and what we're losing in life. We'll care less about all of these things that we have. And in return, that means that we're peaceful. That means that we're not angry about what happens. Today, we have a dedication. This dedication says, praying for all loved ones suffering from sickness, wishing them all a speedy recovery with lots of love and prayers. I would like to dedicate this bhajan on behalf of my birthday today. Love Randy, Diane, Emily, Justin, and Jason Punai. And I believe that it is Diane's birthday today. So I'd like to say a very, very happy birthday to you, Diane. And we would sing this beautiful bhajan dedicated to you. तुम विनती सुनो सबकी, कल्याण करो जग का, सहारा अधिका करके, उद्धार करो दुर्गा, उद्धार करो दुर्गा। तुम विनती सुनो सबकी, कल्याण करो जग का, सहारा अधिका करके, उद्धार करो दुर्गा, उद्धार करो दुर्गा। तुम विनती सुनो सबकी, दर्शन हो माँ तेरे, सबकी अभिलाषा है, मन में रहो तुम सबके, तुमसे यही आशा है। दर्शन हो माँ तेरे, सबकी अभिलाषा है, मन में रहो तुम सबके, तुमसे यही आशा है। क्या मेरा क्या उसका, ये अपना पराया क्या, सब ज्योति जला करके, रोशन करो जग सारा, रोशन करो जग सारा। तुम विनती सुनो सबकी, कल्याण करो जग का, सहारा संसार तो माया है, कभी धूप कभी छाया है, एक दिन उसे जाना है, जो भी यहीं आया है। संसार तो माया है, कभी धूप कभी छाया है, एक दिन उसे जाना है, जो भी यहाँ आया है। क्या रंग है जीवन क्या, क्या रूप है मानव का, तुम ज्ञान भरा करके उपकार करो दुर्गा, उपकार करो दुर्गा। तुम विनती सुनो सबकी, कल्याण करो जगता, सहरा दिखा करके उद्धार करो दुर्गा, उद्धार करो दुर्गा, उद्धार करो दुर्गा, उद्धार करो दुर्गा। Thank you, Diane, again for being our dedication for this evening, and happy birthday to you. Wishing you a very peaceful weekend to celebrate your birthday. We have a couple of announcements today. Tomorrow, January 29th at 10 a.m., we're having our virtual Panchdev Puja. This is Panchdev plus Hanumanji Puja. It'll be virtual on Facebook and YouTube as always. And the details for this are on our Facebook, our website, and our app. If you need fresh items, unfortunately our shop has already ordered the necessary items for people who have already put in their orders, but if you need anything else, you can feel free to visit our shop. At February 20th, we have the same virtual puja. This is for Shiva Sahasranam and Bhavani Shankar Yantra Puja. Again, the details are on our Facebook, our website, and our app. You have to place your order for these things as well, and you can find our items in the puja store. Next week, everyone, we have our Ma Durga Puja. This is where we'll be bathing Ma Durga, our Murti. And so you're all invited to come and witness this in person. It is obviously a very auspicious occasion that happens only once a month. And we'll do that for the first week of February. Thank you for joining with us again, everyone. Let us now all please stand for Aarti. Om Yani Kani Cha Papani Janmantare Kritani Cha Tani Sarvani Nashyantu Pradakshina Pare Pare.
Om Jai Ambe Gauri Maya Jai Shama Gauri Jai Ambe Gauri Maya Jai Shama Gauri Tumko Nish Din Jyavat Maya पुष्प गलवारा कंठहार साजे ओम जय अम्बे गौरी मन जय श्यामा गौरी कानन कुंडल शोभित नासाग्रे मोती मैया नासाग्रे मोती कौतिक चंद्र दिवाकर कौतिक चंद्र दिवाकर राजत समज्योति ओम जय अम्बे गौरी मय जय श्यामा गौरी मय जय श्यामा गौरी
ॐ शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिविद्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णु भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोऽस्तु ते त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव ॐ द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षगं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्तिरापा शान्ति औषधय शान्ति वनस्पति शान्ति विश्वदेव शान्ति ब्रह्मा शान्ति सर्वगं शान्ति शान्तिरेव शान्ति सामा शान्तिरेधि सुशान्तिर्भवतु ॐ गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति ॐ शान्ति हरिः ॐ बोले मापति महादेव की पवन सुत हनुमान की सिया भज रामचंद्र की श्री दुर्गा माता की सत्य सनातन धर्म की सब कोई जय जय सीताराम जय माता दी थैंक यू एवरीवन हैव अ ग्रेट नाइट